Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. It's Georgie. And on the table today, I have the Deviant Moon Tarot for a very dark subject. It's the very early childhood of Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple was born in 1928, and around about 3 or 4 years old, she's actually making films. She was in a dance class in California, and obviously had a talent for dancing, and was picked up basically by somebody who was making films, and said to the mother, you know, you've got to get her in films. And so then started all the practicing, dancing, singing, performing, you know, at such a very, very young age. Should a 3-4-year-old be doing that? Well, I think not. Things were different then. So, you know, it's a depression. People didn't have money. Who's to say, who's to judge? But, you know, this child was exploited. And this read is the first of several reads, I think, that I'm going to do. I'm going to break down her life because there's so much to look at here. This particular reading, I'm going to look at the energy around her. So this Celtic cross is not from her point of view. It's not even from her mother's point of view. This is from the studio. So when the studio picked up this, we'll say 4-year-old child, what their energy was. So we're looking at the, I would say, dark energy of a studio regarding this child. And this is what the Celtic cross is going to be looking at. And we're looking at a child specifically 4 or 5 years old. So not going any further into the future than that. And the energy purely from the studio, those film bosses, MGM, whoever it was that was around her, that was making films, fellow actors, what have you, but not the parents. We will come to that for another reading. All right, so I'm going to pull a Celtic cross, focusing on that energy, that external energy, looking at this child, Shirley Temple. And we're saying that the date is probably about 1932, something like that. So we're right in the Depression. Very, very hard times. About 1932, Shirley Temple, the energy around her directed towards her. Okay, so let's go right to the heart of the matter. We've got the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is the sleepless nights. This studio was trying to make money. The film people, they're all trying to make money right in the middle of a depression. I should think before she came along, the film industry was really struggling, and this is like the nightmare of trying to find content for films. I would imagine, I'm sort of feeling that the film industry was on its knees. You know, it's the worst possible time. There's no money. It's trying to get that feel good energy into the theatre, into making these films. And there's nothing around at that time. And then this child turns up, and the situation was bleak. This is like everyone thinking, what do we do next? How do we keep our film industry going? I think that's very much the sort of sleepless nights of the Nine of Swords. How do we keep our film industry going? People are on their knees. They haven't got the money to go to the cinema. How do we make films? We haven't got the money to make films. What do we make them about? So I think the film industry was in a very, very sad state, and this was causing all the film directors, all the big bosses of, say, MGM and all that, it was causing them trouble. Where do we go from here? And the King of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I think that the main people that were involved in the film industry were having a very hard time, and they didn't care about their talent. They didn't care about what they needed to do. They were just going to do it. Whatever they could do to sort of butter their own bread, to, make money for themselves, they were going to do it. And I see that this child came along at exactly the right time, and the King of Swords with the swords down. This isn't having someone's best interests at heart. If it had been a King of Swords this way up, you can say, well, that's truth. It's honesty. It's doing things for the right reason. It's thinking from your head for everyone's best interests. The King of Swords, legally, you trust him. You'd know that it will be wise decisions. This figurehead here is not somebody that you would trust. It will be contracts that butter their bread, not your bread. It would be spinning lies, spinning deceit, anything that's going to benefit their situation. That's what they're doing, because the film industry was in such a bad state. So any lie would be told, any contract would be fudged, if you like. This King of Swords in reverse is not a man to be trusted. And what's at the top of all of this, remember, this is all from the studio's point of view. Really, say the Four of Wands is your stable home. So this would be MGM or whatever the film studio was, in probably, say, the 1920s and what have you, silent film era. My God, it was, it was doing so well. You had all the old silent film stars. Films were being made, people were making a lot of money, and MGM and all the bosses were doing very well. Their nice stable pod here of MGM, the cinemas, all very stable. And now it's not. They need to find a way of bringing this upright and bringing stability back to the four walls of MGM. And this is where all these dodgy contracts and goodness knows what come into all this. And at the bottom of it, again, more deception. The Hierophant. This is all just sandwiched here between deceit and very, very untrustworthy. The Hierophant, the right way up, legally, very... this is correct. These are our rules and our regulations, and we treat people in this way always, and everybody gets treated evenly, and this is the rate of pay, this is that. It's dotting the i's, crossing the t's. The Hierophant has very, very, very strong moral code, very strong rituals, if you like, regarding the right way of doing things. Well, no, it doesn't. The Hierophant in this situation is just mirroring here the King of Swords, doing anything it needs to do just to get money, just to improve the coffers for themselves. And well, they found this child's star, and wow, what a celebration that was. You can see the wands here, 6 of Wands. Oh, amazing. This child, that is fantastic. Look what you found. You've got gold dust here. You found it. That's the past. Wow, look at that. When I say the past, uncovering this, developing this, finding this little girl that could sing, that could dance, that was pretty, that was pliable, whose mother was just, so yes, well, we'll come along, and very, very happy to push her into it. You'd found gold, and let's celebrate that, because this is the answer to all of our questions, all of our worries about taking, I'm saying MGM, taking MGM forward, and reviving the film industry during the Great Depression. This is our great hope here, this child. And King of Pentacles, what did it do? Well, it did. it did revive it. King of Pentacles. Studio made a lot of money. Look at this. King of Pentacles, the bank manager. The bank manager. She made a fortune. She made a fortune for the studio. There was money coming to her, but who made the majority of the money? The studio. So let's just go across this bridge. We've got this Shirley Temple, this, wow, what an amazing find. Let everybody applaud this child that can sing, can dance. She's going to be our great savior. She's going to save the film industry. So what are we going to do? We don't need to be in a nightmare anymore. How are we going to recover our business? Because we found this great child with all this talent, and we can hook her into contracts, King of Swords reversed, spin her how she's going to be working, what she's going to be earning deceptively, push these tales to her parents, you know, and you know, this is what you're going to be earning, this is what you're going to make out of it, and we are going to wipe the floor with this. We're going to make so much money out of the films that this talented child that everyone's looking up to, and everyone's thinking, my God, look at this little diamond that we've got. We're going to make a lot of money for her. And didn't they just? She saved their bacon during the war. Well, not the war, the Great Depression. So now we're coming more to the outside. So we've got some very dark cards here. So now we come more onto the outside. We've got the Five of Cups. So this is basically the energy around her. Remember, we're not looking at her specifically. We're looking at, you know, the energy that's being directed towards her. I think that she had a hard time. I think that there was an awful lot of criticism going to her. I think that criticism over various things, not working hard enough, which is ludicrous, you know, just various things. This studio boss telling off, you know, putting in the place. And I think that it was very, very hard criticism. I'm not saying about how she reacted, but I'm saying how the studio bosses were to her. The studio bosses were incredibly harsh about everything. A lot of punishment doled out. And other people's reaction was that she really was the goose that laid the golden egg. The Nine of Cups, she provided what they needed. I can imagine that the films, the money that brought in, it was like the genie coming out of the bottle. For MGM and all the main players within that, they started living comfortably. They started to be able to, you know, have the money, have whatever they wanted, because people were going back to the cinema. They were spending their money. And she'd really revived the film industry for them. So, you know, this is the greedy card in a way. This is the overindulgence. They're overindulging. They're having whatever they want because this child star is allowing them to do it by her talent, and they are milking this. So what does the universe say? The universe says, Five of Swords. This is the universe saying that MGM and companies, you know, the film companies, are winning at any cost. They have no interest in the welfare of the child. They have no interest in the health of the child. This is all done for money. And look how this creature pokes its tongue out. Oh, we've won, you know, we've got you over a barrel regarding your contract. You will do what you're told, because if you don't do what you're told, there'll be other children that will do what they're told. So, you know, they felt very empowered. It's a bully card. This is the bully card. And I think that the universe is saying, you know, this is what's happening. It's very unfair. And this child was bullied by grown men, by an organization. and that was a very, very unfair situation. And then at the top we have the Hermit in reverse. The Hermit's a very wise creature. You know, the Hermit, you'd follow the Hermit. The Hermit would take his lamp and you follow him along the right path. If you had a Hermit as a studio producer, director, you trust them totally and you say, right, okay, direct me, I will do what you need me to do. You know, I trust you, let me follow you, and you wouldn't go wrong. The Hermit in reverse is not someone to be trusted. They don't have your best interests at heart. They will lead you astray. They will do things that will put you in a compromising position. No, it's bad energy, very bad energy. And this whole thing, I mean, I haven't gone on to deep sort of issues of abuse as such, but I will look in the middle of the pack at the heart of the matter. Some of these short films that she was involved in, she was massively objectified, inappropriately sexualized, very inappropriately. I know times were different, but you know, nobody can look at that now and think that in any way was that not well, it was very, very inappropriate. So I'm going to the center. Temperance in reverse. Here we go. Let me just move this over to one side. Temperance in reverse. It's a devil. You know, it is sex. It's drugs. It's drink. It's I'll have whatever I want, and if what I want is a small child, I will have that. For whatever reason I want it. And I've got money, I've got the power, and I will use it to have what I want. And temperance in reverse is the devil. It's that devil energy. You could say it's too much drink, it's too much sex, the sex of your choice. So, you know, I'll leave that to you. And then we're going to go to the other side of that. And we have this Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is your walking away card. No, I'm not interested. I'm walking away. But if you think about that, this was never going to happen. You know, along with this temperance, you would say, oh, well, you know, just walk away from it. And I'm just going to go right to the bottom of the situation. Yeah. She couldn't walk away. She wasn't old enough to walk away. You know, her mother could have walked away and taken her with her, but that wasn't going to happen because they're growing their pentacles. So, you know, you've got this deep evil situation, grown men who are really filling their needs, whatever their needs are, they're filling them with this small child. Financially, in ways that are just vile to us today. And, you know, we can all look at that and say, well, just walk away. This should be the mother taking the child, walking away. Yes, there's all that money, there's all that, you know, emotion there, but I'm going to walk away from it and take my child with me. But no, look what's on the other side, the money tree, and it's too important. It's too important, growing these pentacles. So this is the way that I see Shirley Temple's very early years. We're talking about 3-4 years old. Now, what I do want to do is go into this in greater depth. I think that that's a good start. And in the next one that I do on Shirley Temple, we're going to do a deeper dive. But this, remember, is all from the studio head's point of view. Yeah, I think that says it all, really. I'm going to leave it there, and then I'll return and we'll look at this from a different aspect and break it down into other sections, and we'll go a little bit further into her career when she's a little bit older. But for a 3-4 year old child, for 4 years old, 5 even, to be experiencing this is horrendous. Nobody had her best interests of heart at all. They were only interested in making money out of her. And yeah, what an awful situation. So I shall leave that with you. I hope you got something out of that, and we'll be back again, and I will try and unpick this further, and we'll take this to another level. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.